What's going on, y'all? This is y'all internet brother, internet cousin, your internet friend, Sealz the man. And I think I got a good topic for y'all today. So what I'm going to talk about today is what's more attractive to men, busy women or available women? All right. And I feel like this is important to talk about, especially in understanding the mind of good men, decent men, as I talk about on this channel. It is because a lot of us are walking through different facets of life right now. Some of us are super busy. Some of us are at home. Some of us work demanding lifestyles or demanding jobs. Some of us are stay at home or work from home or whatever the case is. A lot of us have contrasting and polar opposite lifestyles. But how does that affect a man's mind when it comes to the woman that he's with? Is there something that he likes more? Well, let's break that down, all right? So the first thing I'm gonna talk about when it comes to this is my opinion on what busy means to me versus just unavailable. See, there's a difference between someone and people who are actually busy and people who are just unavailable to you. Because you can have people who are unavailable to you say that they are busy as an excuse as to why they're not talking to you or constantly in communication with you or in your presence. They are using that excuse because they are not making themselves available to you. They are unavailable to you. But then you have actual busy people who really and authentically don't have the time that they would love to have to give to you. But those who are truly down for you are going to make that time for you, even though they are busy. They're going to try their best. And I live that lifestyle. I am super busy, but I try to make the time. Right? So a person who is unavailable to you is by choice. It is by their choice. So they are unavailable or they choose to be unavailable to you versus a person who is actually busy, who actually likes you, who is trying their best to make time for you. All right. So that is the difference. When a person is not always able to be there for you, is either because they are busy, really, or they are just unavailable to you. You got to decipher the difference between those two. And that will lead you to moving accordingly with that information. All right. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to this are the dark sides of being busy versus being available and what that looks like to a man when it comes to women, right? So as a man, and when it comes to busy women, we respect that. We respect that because you're in your calling, you're active in your passion, you're doing something, you're doing things that is not going to always make you available to me. But we're mature enough, because we're talking about decent men, we're mature enough to understand that because we are most likely busy ourselves. We get it. But the dark side to being busy is that sometimes women, because women have to work 3 times as hard as the average man, sometimes that drive and that grind and that hunger to be successful can make a woman almost robotic, almost a killer, to the fact that it bleeds inside into her relationship with her man. Now she's bringing those same killer aspects that she has to have in her workforce into her relationship. A lot of masculine or aggressive behaviors and traits can leak into the relationship with her man, because sometimes it is hard to turn off how you are in the workforce, how you are in your industry, how you are in your calling, and separate that from your relationships. And that is also why a lot of cops, a lot of detectives, a lot of professions that deal with death and killings and graphic things, that is why it's hard for a lot of them to have relationships outside of their profession, because their profession has that great of an impact on who they are. And it is hard for them to turn that off, right? Imagine seeing dead bodies every single day, seeing kids and families being murdered, and then trying to go home and forget what you just saw today and try to be loving to another partner or a family, or trying to just turn that off, that graphic sensory overload that you had for work off when you go home. That is tough for a lot of people. But on a lower scale, that applies to what a lot of women go through, based on what I was told, who are high ranking, high earners, CEOs, execs, because they had to do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much just to get to that point. And they can't afford to lose momentum. They can't afford to make one mess up or one hiccup, because they know their margin of error is so thin as a woman. So that is one of the biggest dark sides of being a busy woman in the mind of a man. And I've learned this from high earning women and successful women. So let's go to the other side. What is the dark side of a woman who is available, or in some cases, always available? In the mind of a lot of men, a woman who is always available is a red flag because she's not pursuing something, or she's not doing enough for him. And now, because she has so much free time, it can start arguments if he doesn't text her in time, if he doesn't communicate with her in time, because she doesn't have much to do. To go even deeper with this, when it comes to the dark side of a woman who's always available in a lot of men's minds, is that she's ultra dependent on him. A lot of men will feel like because she doesn't have her own, because she's not doing things to occupy her time, because she's not being active in much, she's going to be too dependent on him. And now he's thinking like, dang, if something happens to me, we are going to be jacked up, because he feels like he's doing everything and she's not doing enough or anything at all. So you see, in these two polar opposite lifestyles of being busy versus being available, there are some tricky faces to both of them. And of course, they're not all negative, but I want to point out the negatives and what a lot of men think when it comes to both busy and available women. So now this is what I'm going to talk about when it comes to what men look for, what they like when it comes to busy women or available women, and that is balance. We like balance. We like you to be busy. We like you to be active in your calling. We like to see you doing things, right? But we also don't want you to be too busy to the point you have no time for us, because that is how relationships degrade. That is how they break down. That makes openings for problems, because now we're missing you so much. Now we're questioning your intentions with us. We're questioning your effort into seeing us or going out with us or being here with us. Now it's creating all these curiosities and these inquisitive thoughts on if you even like me. You see, it creates openings if you're too busy, and the opposite applies when you're too available. So for us, a lot of decent men, we want there to be balance, but balance is key. So the next thing I want to say about this when it comes to what men look for, what they like more, whether it's busy women or available women, is that it also depends on the man. There is no right answer to this, because every man is different. Every man thinks different. Every man was brought in different family values or taught by different types of men and women on what they should want in a relationship and a marriage. So there is no one fit all answer. Some men love women who are super available, always available. And some men are satisfied with women who are busy, active, out and about. It depends on the man. And when it comes to this, the next thing I'm gonna talk about when it comes to the depending on the man, it depends on his security or lack thereof. If he is securing you as his woman, if he is securing your relationship, it is less likely that there is going to be a problem with you being busy or not always there, because he knows you are coming back. You see the trouble with this? Are those relationships that are rocky or have a lot of question marks more than answers, where things aren't defined enough, where y'all just winging it, right? It is not solid enough to have security in that. I can't have security in something that is not stable, something that has no foundation, something that has no definition. I can't have security in that as a man. And if that man feels like that with you, that's when the arguments come up. Why we never communicate? Why you always seem to be so busy? I saw you posting on Instagram, but you're not texting me back. Like, what's up with that? You will get those type of conversations and arguments when there's a lack of security from him of you. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is the answer to that. And that is defining your purpose with this person. If y'all sit down and talk about what y'all want from each other, what are y'all plans individually? Like, hey, I'm a CEO of this company, and as a woman, I won't be there all the time. Are you okay with that? I'm able to work with you on finding a comfortable situation for us where we can be able to see each other and be together, but also do what we need to do for work or our passion, whatever you're doing. Are you able to be open to that? The purpose must be defined in order to create that security that I was talking about in the last point. The other thing with this, the other answer and solution to this is to have intentional time versus constant time. In other words, quality over quantity. Because now you can say, all right, we hanging out a lot. You realize that I had a problem with you being so busy, and now we're hanging out 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Cool, right? Not always the case. Because if those hangouts, those times y'all together are low quality, there's no passion or love or romance in it. Y'all just hanging out for the numbers just to say like, hey, I hung out with you 4 times last week. That's cheap, and that will not solve anything. So having intentional moments with your partner matters way more than the number of moments that you have with your partner. And the last solution that matters to men when it comes to busy women versus available women is communication. I probably say communication in every single one of my videos because it is that important. Communication is key. Y'all gotta communicate on what your boundaries are and what your expectations are, individually and together. You gotta talk about your likes and dislikes, what you can do and what you can't do. Can you compromise? Are you willing to be open? How are y'all going to express each other's feelings when y'all feel like I am too or overly overbearing for you or too available for you? Or how are you going to express yourself when you feel like I am always busy and never there for you? Are you going to yell at me? Are you going to start an argument? Are you going to put a petty post on Facebook or Instagram subbing me? How are you going to handle those moments of emotion? So let's talk about that now. Let's have communication about that. How are you going to act when you are missing me? Or how are you going to act when you feel like I'm not giving you the space to miss me? Communication is key, and I will yell that to the final sunset. Do not be afraid to communicate with your partner, because you will be able to, or make it more likely to avoid these problems that I talked about in this video, all right? So yes, there is no answer for if men like busy women over available women, because every man is different, but I hope the things that I broke down in this video and the body and content of this video make things clearer and how men understand and comprehend busy women and available women. All right, so thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was a pretty good talk, and I will see you on my next video. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.